Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of the Essential Zodiac Podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia McNulty.
And I'm Audrey Fannin.
Today we are talking about two cosmic events. We have the new moon in Gemini and the summer solstice, which is when the sun moves into Cancer. And so we'll be talking about those two events. But before we do that, I want to remind all of you June birthdays out there, it's time to order your solar return report. Now, you'll remember this outlines the energy coming your way from this birthday to the next. You can find more information and how to order on my website under current promotions. There is also a new Astro Tarot spread up for this summer season, so you want to take a look at that as well. You can find that and other spreads by clicking on the Astro Tarot link on my welcome page. And finally, drum roll. In 5 days, I'll be launching Essential Apothecary. That'll be on June 21st, the summer solstice. There will be chakra oils and zodiac intention bottles. So watch my website and Essential Zodiac's Facebook page for more information, but that's coming very, very soon. So now on to the Gemini new moon. So with Gemini being symbolic of the twins, there is always a dual nature to this sign. And that is certainly how this new moon in Gemini is manifesting this month. This is because the sky aligns to give us double the opportunity, but also could have us second guessing our instincts. So that's a real pitfall. This month, you think you have, your goal in front of you, or you've come up with a solution, and then you sit there and you second guess yourself, and you could drive yourself crazy. So my advice is definitely when you come up with a workable solution, turn off the voices in your head and just go for it. So the new moon in Gemini will join up with the sun, forming a potent new moon in the sky that's filled with potential for auspicious new beginnings and fresh starts. So remember, the new moon is all about setting your intentions, doing fresh starts. But with this new moon forming an almost exact square with foggy Neptune, we could see the feelings of doubt and discomfort creep into what otherwise would be clear and clarifying path forward. So that's another thing where, Neptune is our planet of illusion, delusion. It likes to allow us to fool ourselves. So we want to fight that. We want to fight that because we want to take this good new moon energy and use it to its best possible uses for us. So we don't want to let doubt and self-doubt creep into that. So your need for change could inspire you with new and creative ideas that are quickly met with questions from yourself and others, all about the potential pitfalls. So another thing I would do this month is maybe keep some things close to your chest, maybe not broadcast it, especially on Facebook, where you invite a lot of comments, some negative. And of course, that's going to put self-doubt, in your mind, but also it's going to put out that negativity out there in the cosmos. So you don't want to let people in on your plans right away. Launch them and then maybe you can mention things, but don't let them sabotage you before you've even had a chance to get it off the ground. Your cosmically aligned wisdom is to avoid falling into negative thinking or feedback loops. Instead, remember that a new moon is never a time for answers. It is a time to take a leap of faith. It's an invitation to trust yourself and the universe. Lean into where your mind is taking you and follow your curiosities to their natural conclusion. You won't miss what is meant for you unless you never try to go after it. That's a point I always try to make to my clients is here's the energy. Okay? Whether you choose to use it or not is entirely up to you. We all have free will. Now, we do have this new moon energy, but maybe right now is not a good time for you personally to make some new plans. Maybe you already have a full plate. Maybe you have other obligations that wouldn't make it possible to act on this energy. But if you can, it's there for the taking. Now, also, Pluto, the planet of transformation, will also be infusing its energy into this new moon. So, if there are any changes or transformations that need to take place, especially in a relationship, Pluto will send some assistance our way. This is something, too, that would be interesting. Instead of making maybe a new plan, take something that isn't working or is a bad habit and use the new moon and Pluto to help you, change the course of that. And right before the Gemini new moon reaches its peak, Saturn also stations retrograde, making its descent into the underworld for the first time since it entered Pisces. So this is going to be new energy that we're dealing with. Right now, Saturn is in Pisces, and it'll turn retrograde in that sign. So Saturn retrograde coinciding with the new moon will heighten its energy, making it another strong force we will be working with. Saturn is considered our master teacher and the lord of karma. So as it journeys retrograde, it will be bringing up karmic lessons that we need to revise or to look over since March of 2023. Now that's when Saturn entered Pisces. So we have a couple of months that we might want to look over and see how that's going for us. As you can see, this new moon is quite busy, but even though it's taking us in many directions, the overall feel behind this new moon is expansive and soul cleansing. While it can lead us into some deep realizations, it does this to expand our awareness, grow our soul, and allow us to make productive new beginnings in our lives. So as we're doing this work for ourselves during the new moon, here are some journal prompts that we can use and maybe help us set us on a path to work with the energy of this new moon. So one is opportunities, opening to intuition, and overcoming illusions. So those are the opportunities of this new moon, opening to intuition and overcoming illusions. And then our challenges, seeing fact from fiction and keeping positive. So again, the challenges are seeing fact from fiction and keeping positive. So work with those journal prompts, or if you have some of your own, and see how that works for you. You have 2 weeks or so until the full moon to work with. So we're going to take a little break. And when I come back, we're going to dive into the summer solstice.
Stay connected with Cindy and the Essential Zodiac in between podcast episodes. Look for Essential Zodiac on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On YouTube, look for Cynthia McNulty. Visit EssentialZodiac.com to explore the different types of astrological readings Cindy provides. And while you're there, we hope you'll consider becoming a patron of this podcast by signing up with Patreon. All the details are there at the website. Back to you, Cindy.
Thanks, Audrey. So now, the summer solstice. The summer solstice is when the sun moves into the cardinal water sign of Cancer and marks the official start of summer. And for us here on the East Coast of the US, this happens on Wednesday, June 21st at 10:57 a.m. It is the longest day and shortest night of the year for those of us who live in the Northern Hemisphere. You will also hear it called Midsummer or Letha by pagans like myself. So let's talk a little bit about the summer solstice and what it is all about. So at the summer solstice, the sun appears to stand still. Of course, it's an illusion, but our ancient ancestors did not know that. So the word solstice derives from sol, which is sun, plus sisteri, which means standing still. For about 3 days, the sun appears to stop in its tracks. In truth, its relative position to the earth doesn't change much, hence this illusion. From our vantage point in the Northern Hemisphere, the sun is finishing its northbound journey and moving southward, treating us to the lushness of summer. The summer solstice kicks off Cancer season. The summer solstice marks the start of Cancer season in astrology. At the solstice, the sun appears to pass directly over the Tropic of Cancer. This is the moment when astrologers say that the sun has entered Cancer, meaning that it's now traveling through the part of the zodiac band represented by Cancer. Each season lasts about 30 days, but the solstice always coincides with the sign of the crab. Now, also, too, Cancer is a very nurturing sign. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So during this period of time, which is nice, it coincides with summer, you may feel drawn to your family, friends. You may want to socialize with them more. It's all about hearth and home. Cancer is a very maternal sign, and any of you who have friends whose sun sign is Cancer, they are probably the mamas of the group, whether they're male or female. They're the ones that everybody goes to when there's trouble or problems, and they fix it. So appreciate your Cancer friends. Now, the summer solstice is a good day to balance active and receptive energies. So in astrology, the sun is associated with the active yang principle. But here's the paradox. The Cancer zodiac sign rules the receptive yin principle and is governed by the emotional moon, as I had previously said. So we have the forthright sun stopping in its tracks to usher in a new, flowy solar cycle. This is the ideal time to consider ways that we can balance the yin and yang forces in our own lives. Where could we use a little more gentle receptivity? Where could you yang it up and put in more action-oriented, decisive energy? We all contain both energies within us. In an age where humans are becoming more fluid and redefined than ever, the summer solstice is an awesome moment to widen our notions of what it means for us. So always try to strike a balance in your lives, the work-home balance, all that, the dark and the light inside of us. If we could do that, we'll be very happy people. So what's interesting, too, is the sun is actually at its farthest point from the earth at the summer solstice. Now, you would think that would be the reverse. but it's not. One common misconception is the summer solstice begins when the sun is close to the earth, heating up the temperatures. But this is no. At the summer solstice, the sun is actually at its farthest point from the earth. It's the tilt of the earth on its axis that determines the amount of light and heat we get from the sun. At the summer solstice, the northern hemisphere is at its most direct tilt to those golden rays. So the life-giving sun is directly overhead, giving us light into the wee hours. One of my favorite things about this time of year is that, it's still daylight, at 9 o'clock. That's nice. I really enjoy it. The winter kind of gets me when it's completely dark at 5 o'clock, but I'm loving life right now. Now, the solstice rituals date back to ancient Egypt, Rome, and of course, very famously, Stonehenge. Throngs of festival-styled solstice revelers gather for the summer solstice at the ancient Stonehenge site. There's still revelers at the summer solstice. There's still revelers. So even in ancient Egypt, summer solstice coincided with the first phase of the Nile's flooding, marking the Egyptian New Year. In ancient China, they celebrated the switch from yang to yin energy for the next half of the year. The Romans honored the goddess Vesta, which in astrology, one of the asteroids is named for her, with their Vestalia solstice soiree. The Greeks honored Cronus, or Saturn, if you would, the god of agriculture, at their Cronia festival, where slaves and free people feasted as equals for a day. So I have some solstice horoscopes for everyone. Okay, so for Aries, March 21st through April 19th. The sun in your fourth house of foundations challenges you to strengthen your base of support. Your best bet for getting your own needs met is to increase your sensitivity to others' feelings and to express your desires with compassion. You'll really feel the need to see how you can push yourself forward in social and professional networks, as well as improve close personal relationships to strengthen you for intense highs and lows ahead. Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. So, Audrey, in your third house of connection, the Cancer sun inspires deeper contact with the people you interact with in your daily life. When you speak and listen from your heart, seemingly random conversations can lead to unexpected insights. Alternately, you may find yourself growing closer to neighbors, becoming more active in your community, or getting more attention at work. So now, Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. With the sun in Cancer in your second house of self-worth, you are becoming sensitive to the fact that you are your most valuable asset. You discover personal power by feeling in your gut that you have a lot to give. Your central purpose is to have confidence in your ability to take care of yourself, even as your emotional life ebbs and flows. Attaining self-realization means knowing how to fend off those who might try to take advantage of you. Being yourself means that you are comfortable in your own skin and that you allow yourself to develop sentimental attachment to things. Now, Cancer. Well, happy birthday, Cancer. This is your month. The sun in your first house of self marks a new year of personal growth and a time to get in touch with your deepest desires. Don't ignore secret talents you may have hidden away from the world. Leo, to all my fellow Leos out there, July 23rd to August 22nd. The solstice sun in your 12th house of spirit renews your connection to your dreams, higher self, and intuition. Take some downtime to tune into these subtle levels of reality and recharge your batteries. Allow Cancer's homebody influence to give you some downtime. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. In your 11th house of teamwork, the Cancer sun calls for nurturing connections with friends and allies. Networking, volunteering to help others, or simply socializing with your friends revitalizes your inspiration, something you might desperately need if you find that your current way of doing things at work or in your daily life isn't working. Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd. The sun shines on your 10th house of career, renewing enthusiasm for cultivating your ambitions. When you're working at full capacity, you'll be nearly inexhaustible as you promote yourself publicly in order to improve your professional presence or change your purpose completely. Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st. Illuminating your 9th house of expansion, the solstice sun incites your passion for escaping the ordinary and encountering the unknown. This is an auspicious time for travel, adventure, and taking the risk of stepping outside your comfort zone. Explore the path less traveled, and this could lead to a more whole you when you are open to all the potential you possess but may have ignored. Enjoy the ride with just a little caution thrown in. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. The Cancer sun in your 8th house of intimacy intensifies your desire to bond deeply with a significant other or to attract a new partner. To make this happen, you'll need to narrow your focus and let go of superfluous demands on your schedule. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. Shining on your 7th house of partnerships, the sun stirs you to tune into others' emotional needs and focus on giving and receiving support. Although you feel more comfortable acting independently, now is a favorable time for collaboration and connection. You can let go of your all-business approach and allow for a little creativity. Aquarius, January 20th to February 18th. The solstice sun energizes your 6th house of daily duties, inviting you to nurture yourself by improving your work and self-care habits. Tone down your busy brain and tune into your feelings and thoughts to identify how you can simplify your schedule and experience a greater sense of support. This doesn't mean turning off your truly one-of-a-kind approach. Pisces, February 19th to March 20th. Enlivening your 5th house of fun and romance, the sun draws attention to the needs of your heart. Renew your inspiration by making time to play and reconnect with the child within. Well, that ends today's episode. Our next episode is about the full moon in Capricorn, and that will air on June 30th. I hope you tune in. And remember, with astrology, you can chart your life's course.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Essential Zodiac Podcast. Episodes go live every other Friday, with special episodes from time to time. Have an astrological topic you'd like Cindy to address in an upcoming podcast? Great! Send an email to easypodcast@yahoo.com. Well, before we meet again on the next episode, be sure to visit essentialzodiac.com and take a look at the Essential Apothecary, which launches on June 21st. Wishing you a happy solstice from Essential Zodiac and Muddy Creek Studios.